wenda basime abuko matwakize byeshogoro birungi shana Kachina yazayi China music. I think you've been heading. I mean, jangu ndiyo mkulisi kingine viraguye umwana takurebe
kanyere
kwa kamainda nereo when unarimoja kasamato boy nda kusima kandi kugira ngo you really want to be a model ogumizaho. You have our support.
My name is Valentine Muhereza, aka KACHAINA. I'm 43 years. I was born on 14th Feb 1980 in Chakajumba, Isingiro, Bugonjishema district.
Mwene musibireje bagenzi bajya bampurikize agana makuru bw'ijiri kanga atandike kukundu kwenda amazina nubanyeta mutaseka wari banasi kumanya ngo muyaga gwara baho kuminako muzomsisi buzubwa ferom accident yo kurwa ndenya misuzire abikibindi batwarwa abitada bwesho ko nyigeze bashika kandi umurango gw'abarwiruka speed sanzo nazuro gwandemera turera yambaho yabo kugwa kumara omweshongozi owakweshongorire akabare akakapapara tumwino mbukenyeri isoba omweshongozogu yija atari kufitina kona kandi kuyahikaho yaragira DJ kuteka makabarako bwenu DJ akabare katera mabantu mbaherezo omweshongozi live kikumuru kumurebaho no mawe sente nyini
My parents, my father is the Right John Nchwanga and my mom is Vechungwire Lois. My education journey, I studied up to P3 in Kababis Primary School, and we migrated from Shema to Mubende district. I joined Ndeba Primary School, P3 first term, but when I became the first, some people who were drinking with my dad some beers told him that they are going to bewitch me for becoming the first. So my dad had to put me out of school. So when I left school, I started trading chicken, okusubule nkoko. I used to take them to Kampala. My brother was staying in Bulenga, so I could take them around. That was from 1990 up to 1997 when UPE came. That was after 7 years, and I joined Manyogaseka Primary School in the same class, P3. That is after 7 years. So from 1997, I was the entertainment prefect in Manyogaseka Primary School. I also became the head boy, and they called me KACHAINA because I was entertainment prefect. Whenever those KACHAINA'S could come, they could tell them, please, you talk to entertainment prefect if you want to perform. So because I loved what they were doing, I became their middleman, so I could also take them to different schools. So from there, after they have done their tour, I could also go in these minor small schools. The kindergarten, I say, we are going to bring KACHAINA, I bring sample, then I perform for them. So that's how I was nicknamed KACHAINA, because I was doing those Chinese things of cutting the head, of making biscuits, so they called me KACHAINA. But I continued studying. Then I finished my P7. I was the head boy of Manyogaseka Primary School. I finished my P7 in 2001. But remember, I was studying as I continued to trade my business of chicken. So I could not study every day. Then I got 14 and I joined the Kalamba Hill Secondary School in Chiganda, Mubende, which is now Kasanda. I joined the senior 1 up to senior 4 in 2005. While at Kalamba Hill, I was both a photographer. I was also an artist who does these posters for saloon. Then I was also given a role of being the head prefect of Kalamba Hill until 2005 when I finished my senior 4 and I got 31. From there, in 2006, I had come to Sheng where we are born. I had come to Bale, someone, but I came with my camera. And when I reached in Ankara, I found that the camera had a big market, so I did not go back to study. I remained there as a photographer. But because I was doing photography in the party, around 2007, Judith Rabiria introduced a song called VALENTINE. Because I used to go to karaoke, as I told you, there was a certain bar in Busega called C&C. When I was in primary, where I used to see comedians putting on dresses, miming those Kadongokam songs. So 2007, after around 2007, 2006, Judith Rabiria introduced the song VALENTINE, and I went to borrowed some dresses and I dressed like a woman. I went to a party where they had hired me as a photographer. So I mimed that song. People thought I was the composer and the songwriter and the performer. They loved my performance, and it is the same time when David Utaro introduced the song Akabina Kapapal. So I could mime VALENTINE, then Kapapala in different attires. From there, the person who was mainly a photographer became a comedian, and people started hiring me 20,000, 50,000, until when Baguma of Okugashura saw me in Mayanga and took me to Bunamaya. He first took me to perform with the late Hayat Chisachi. So after performing, people started liking me more, and people who were hiring me at 50 started hiring me at 300. So that's how I kept on improving until 2008, when I started going to BFM Radio Busheng to greet my people. So as I was greeting, one of the directors, Mr. Jordan, heard me greeting, but in a funny way. He asked, who is that person? They said it's called KACHAINA. He said, does he pay? He pays 2,000 to greet. The man said, don't ask him money, he's funny. Whenever he comes, let him greet for free. When they told me that, what I did was to shift from Bugonj now and hired me a radio so that I can greet for free at any time. It was from there that after like 2 years, they employed me, but I was not getting salary. But whenever we could go deep in villages, people were loving me so much until when they started to pay me. Around 2010, we had some news that there is a TV which is likely to start in Western region in 3 years to come. It is going to be called TV West. When I heard that, I started doing some skits so that when the TV comes, they can hire me. But should I tell you what? Before even I started recording the videos, started producing them, a TV started, and I mean, they called me Speed and we started TWAJ meaning TV West Artist Group. We started recording, but the TV had not started. Then when it started, I was the first person whom they used while testing the signals. So I became the first person to work on TV West in Western region with my fellow colleague. Then around 2011, in those campaigns, Mr. Wario Musi is the first MP who hired me to take me to Kanun to look for him votes. So 2017, I joined Welding School in Katete and did 2 years.
Yunga bikyali awo omukozi wa TV West era omuyimbi nga muzannyi wa katemba muhereza Valentine amanyiddwa nga KACHAINA y'omu ku bantu abatudde ebigezo ng'essuubi yaleetese mu kusoma byankulaakulana n'okweyongera okukuka mu byennyimba ne komedi.
Bw'olaba abantu nga bakatolu bwama bagenze mu politics nga ate bazannyi ba komedi, bazannyi ba katemba, bw'olaba bajjudisi babiri, bw'olaba His Excellency Bob White bali kukatanga bali kamwocha naye olwo ebitabo byabwe bibayambye nti eno ekisobola okukikubira eno n'okikubira n'eno.
I finished in 2018 and I got 11.
Kufutandika okukola amaradio n'ariga amaradio n'atandika kukola TV. Abayizi bakeyongera buli kimu ky'abasitedeko kanaale bakyeta kisagaruka sukuru. Abagambi batandika unaza kuyesa tetu. Abamu batandika unaza kuwa kajefrere talia. Abamwe bajja mutakarenza point 7 muninga naza kuyayisa tunteza harata namu. Yote ndafire yo nakorana namani kuzaje visa results urorebe nachitera yiburu KACHAINA bisatagwize bya erebo msawira KACHAINA bisatagwize. If I did it, others did it, why really can't you did it?
So from there, in 2019 August, I joined Bishop Stewart University, and I was the first student to join Bachelors of Journalism and Mass Communication at Bishop Stewart University, and I continued. We increased the number. As I talk, I'm going to graduate on 21st of March 2023, Bachelors of Journalism and Mass Communication. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my educational journey. First and foremost, going back from 1990 to 1997, going back was an inspiration to many that I had spent 7 years, but I went back. Going back from 2005, leaving school and join 2017 after 12 years, it is an inspiration to many. Now, when I went to A-level, I also composed a song called Tongera Kushoma. Niwani wanjereka tongera This literally means that let's add on education. If you have not studied, in future you are going to suffer. So the song is there, and I mean it helped some members. I also contributed a lot in Weldon School because the school was known for two activities, strikes and sports. But when I was there on my first day, I told them that in my 2 years here, I don't want any strike. With the help of God and you will not strike. And 2 years we did not strike. So after leaving Weldon, I joined Bishop Stewart University. But before joining, after passing A-level, remember when I joined the A-level, they also employed me on TV West. I was doing just those skits like Amot, but now they gave me a program on MUHEREZA, which is always from 6 to 7 Monday to Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. So it added on the responsibility. I have a family. I have to work on TV. I have to record the Twaji, which is a skits. I have to go in parties. It was challenging that I could not get enough time to study. But I persisted and managed to get 11 balanced. So when I passed, I came to believe that in God, if we work hard and trust God, everything in this world is possible. So I sang a song called Nibibasika. Nibibasika simply means all things are possible. Akuba nibibasika, amazima nibibasika. Watamama ninobifuna, akuba nibibasika, 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 amazima nibibasika. And in that song when I was starting it, Jonas asked me,
Mr. Kachain, ukachukolota kubecho kushangwati ori ahora nchi
nokutina ruhanga
Kachaina ntuyenda kubuza omyaka etano yo mission noreka noza kubori inkai ningashi wene chiroto chimno.
I told them in 5 years I will have started what it takes to help children, more especially children with disability, and I think my dream is coming true because I mean if the ministry can call me to go and stop AIDS in children by 2030, called or invited by UNAIDS and World Health Organization, including the executive director Winnie Byanyuma, that means what I was aiming at, I'm trying to achieve it. So all things are possible. Now I've managed to work with Richer Hand Uganda, that is RAU. The CEO is called Humphrey Narmanya. I've worked with Reproductive Health Uganda. I've also worked with Mental Health Uganda. I've worked with Sonko Gender Justice in South Africa. I've also managed to work with Ubuntu Nation as their brand ambassador, Humanity Towards Others. The director is called Atwine, is in America. I've also managed to work with Ministry of Health. I contributed much during COVID time because the advert we are using on TV West, I'm the one who composed it, directed it, produced it, and did it. I also was invited by Dr. Diana Atwine at Triangle also to contribute much on why people were not being vaccinated, and I contributed much.
Yes, Mazima.
As many people as the champions of social media utilization. Abako hata knowledge about lockdown abantu tubakozesa ki physical presence on social media, it keeps people informed.
Yes.
So kanjende hata nenzame to mani zabunya wezo koyona
nkakora ishenye nkakora radio.
I thank the Ministry of Health because my suggestions were put in place where I had told them to localize the message, also to make the message brief, and I mean use people like me. I did it for free. So from there, I've worked also with UPDF during the time of CDF. David Muhoozi, he invited me to entertain children of the army at Makenke. I've also done a lot with children by organizing the shows, Kids Festival at Igongo for Vision Group, and the rest, I mean, through that I've also contributed a lot. I've also worked in URA, Educational Department, on tax education department. I've also worked, I mean, in different organizations. And of recently, of course, I was invited by UNAIDS and World Health Organization to represent Uganda in the Global Alliance to End HIV in Children by 2030. And the meeting has been in Dar es Salaam at Julius Nyerere International Convention Center, where I contributed much of what should be done, and I think they are considering it soon. Then right about now, of course, ministry called me and told me that I'm going to lead the TB campaign of fighting TB, so that by 2030, TB is no longer in Uganda. And ladies and gentlemen, it is achievable. It is achievable. Nowadays, people don't want to listen to adverts. The moment you say, let's go Mubulango, someone gets the remote and changes to the station. But if you have scripted your advert very well, the advert is short, it is dramatized, it is entertaining, but the message is there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I do. Someone is getting a remote changed to go where there is no advert, but I mean he finds that someone who is doing an advert is funny, is a comedian. This will force him to stay, and hence your message will be delivered. What am I going to do? They are choosing me as ambassador in the whole Uganda to lead in fighting TB. By 2030, it should be no more. And we shall use hashtag Leave TB Free. Prevent, test early, and treat. So, shall go to all regions, 6 regions, and while there we shall be doing shows, but those shows are going to be big, very big, and those shows, people will be asked also to test for TB, test for HIV, circumcision will be going on, but through that, a lot of people are going to be employed. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't do this one alone. The ministry cannot do this one alone. This one is going to be achieved due to the alliance of the State House, of ministers, of all NGOs, both local and international. Most of them, I know them as I've mentioned them. So we are going to work together. So while in these shows, we are going to test all people, because unfortunately, people don't test TB. People, when someone coughs, he or she thinks it's a normal cough. If someone coughs, thinks it is COVID. But people don't test. And the good chance is that when you test TB, when it is still early, when you have it, it is curable. That is 1. 2, all medicine for testing and treating TB is free. And it is in every health facility nearby. That is 2. Number 3, we are going to fight stigma and discrimination. People who have TB should not be stigmatized, should not be discriminated. What do I mean here? The employers, after knowing that maybe someone is TB positive, they try to eliminate him, they lay her or him out. This brings stigma. He hates himself, he stops the medication, and at the end of it all, we lose him or her. So we are going to inform people that being with TB should not let someone be discriminated. So we shall teach people what is the difference between discrimination and stigma. Discrimination is a big thing, I mean, in different sectors. So we are going to work on that with the human rights. Those people are going to help us. So people should know. 3, we are going to address the issue of marijuana, cigarettes, and shisha. I mean, if we have the law that is governing us about the drugs, someone who is affected by TB because of let's say, shisha, he is not affected alone, because when you get sick, your family is not catered for. So that is a disadvantage. So we shall handle that, and we see how can we bring those people taking shisha. We talk to them in a humble way, and we see how they can. they can leave it. Then 3, we are going to educate people. What are the signs of TB? What is TB, by the way? So we should explain to people that this is a disease that 80% attacks the lungs. So we are going to explain that. What are the signs? We shall explain the cough, loss of weight, and what. Then, who are the people that are having high chances of getting TB? For instance, people with HIV, the elderly, and the rest. We shall handle that so that someone is easily detected to know that this one, this sign, this one means that someone is having TB. In doing that, we shall also be fighting TB. There is a lot of stuff. We are going to have the billboards. We are having the messages, as you saw this one of Valentine. Message is going to be brief because we are going to use these messages, but in a different way from what the ministry has been using. The message is short, the message is brief, the message has whole information, but it is less than 30 seconds, so that if someone puts on status, can get information. We are going to educate people the difference between now the like TVs and social media. That now on TikTok, people, the higher class use Twitter, but people whom they want to treat are down. Some use, the best one can use TikTok, but people don't know that even on TikTok, when you are posting something, you are not supposed to include your number of a phone. The moment you include your number, the department of TikTok is going to block your account. People don't know. So we are going also to educate them. We are going to employ these people who have big following on TikTok, on WhatsApp, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all platforms, and mostly we shall be sending this message using our KACHAINA Comedy social media handles. YouTube we use KACHAINA Comedy, Facebook we use KACHAINA Comedian, TikTok we use KACHAINA Valentine, Instagram we use KACHAINA Valentine, and Twitter we use KACHAINA 1. So all the message will be passing through there. People should start subscribing to KACHAINA Comedy, to Ministry of Health. People should start following all NGOs I have mentioned, so that when you are tweeting, you can tag them. This is going to do a lot for us. There is a lot of stuff. The ministry is also going to advise me and take me for more studies, so that what I'm informing the public, I'm aware of it. Of course, ending TB in Uganda by 2030 is achievable, but it is achievable when we have all stakeholders, like the media, because these things, the money can't be everything. But the media should also advocate for that. The Parliament of Uganda should advocate for that. President of the country, all ministers, MPs, RDCs, up to the ground level person. And of course, the NGOs and other presidents will support us. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot speak more than that, but just if I'm trusted, you are going to enjoy. And there is a last sample I'm going to use. There is Professor Ngware in Kenya. There was a crisis in Kenya, but that professor used something that is unique, and the crisis was solved. So there are things. There is a lot we are going to share. We shall be visiting different media platforms. The rest, the ministry will advise me, because I'm a human being. I am a human being, and whatever I've done in my speech, if there is anywhere I've done wrong, please read Luke 15:11-32, the prodigal son, where someone sinned, but when he went back to the parents, he was asked for forgiveness and he was forgiven. Health is wealth for God and my country. Live TB free. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Valentine MUHEREZA, aka KACHAINA. I thank God for this, and may God bless you all. Thank you.